The economic sanctions imposed on Iran have had a significant impact on its economy, as well as global trade and geopolitical dynamics. The lifting of these sanctions has been a topic of great interest and speculation, with many wondering about the potential effects and strategic responses that may arise. In this video, we will explore the possible outcomes and implications of Europe lifting the ban on Iran, considering the global effects and the responses from various countries and groups. The effects of lifting economic sanctions on Iran. A global general equilibrium simulation model provides insights into the potential effects of lifting economic sanctions on Iran. The analysis emphasizes three key components that are likely to have near to medium-term effects: the lifting of the EU oil embargo, the reduction in Iran's trade costs, and the liberalization of cross-border imports of financial and transport services. The lifting of economic sanctions is expected to have the most significant impact on Iran's economy itself. Its per capita welfare is projected to rise by 3.7%, primarily due to the lifting of the oil embargo imposed by the EU and the liberalization of cross-border trade in financial and transport services. However, the effects are not limited to Iran alone. Implications for net oil importers and exporters. Net oil importers stand to gain from the lifting of the economic sanctions on Iran. The decline in the world price of oil, approximately 13%, due to the additional amount of oil sold on the global market in response to the recovery of Iranian oil exports to the EU, benefits these countries. In per capita terms, Israel emerges as the second largest beneficiary, with a gain of almost 0.5% in per capita welfare. The EU and the US also experienced gains of 0.5% and 0.3%, respectively. On the other hand, net oil exporters face losses as a result of the lower oil price and the deterioration in their terms of trade. OPEC members, particularly the GCC countries, are expected to bear the steepest losses, with a projected decline of 3.9% in per capita welfare. Other OPEC members and Russia also experienced declines in per capita welfare, with reductions of 2.8% and 1.6%, respectively. The impact on world trade and non-oil industries. The lifting of the EU oil embargo and other aspects of the sanction removal have limited effects on the world's non-oil trade. While Iran accounts for a negligible share of global non-oil trade, the world benefits most from the lifting of the EU oil embargo. This aspect has a more substantial impact, leading to overall gains for the world. Net oil importing countries benefit from improvements in their terms of trade and expansion opportunities in their petrochemical production, facilitated by cheaper oil. Additionally, the taxation of oil use in most of these countries contributes to efficiency gains. However, the interaction of existing distortions and structural changes can also play a role in these gains. Strategic responses and implications for major players. The strategic responses to the lifting of economic sanctions on Iran can significantly influence the outcomes and implications for various countries and groups. One key response that can shape the results is the limitation of oil production and exports by major OPEC members to support the world oil price. If major OPEC members choose to limit the quantity of oil produced and exported, they can enhance Iran's gains, limit the losses for oil exporters, and reduce the gains for oil importers. However, this scenario would result in an overall negative impact on the world, as the reduction in oil importers' gains would outweigh the reduction in oil exporters' losses. Europe's role and potential policy shifts. Europe plays a significant role in the potential lifting of the ban on Iran. The EU oil embargo on Iran has been a critical component of the economic sanctions. If Europe decides to lift this embargo, it would have substantial implications for both Iran and the global economy. The lifting of the EU oil embargo would allow Iran to increase its oil exports to Europe, leading to a decline in the world price of oil. While Iran stands to benefit significantly from this policy shift, it also poses challenges for other oil exporters. The strategic responses from major players, such as OPEC members, would further shape the outcomes. Geopolitical implications and regional dynamics. The lifting of economic sanctions on Iran has broader geopolitical implications and can alter regional dynamics. OPEC members, particularly the GCC countries, would face significant challenges as their per capita welfare declines. This situation could potentially impact their domestic stability and influence their relationships with other countries. Furthermore, the lifting of sanctions on Iran could impact the balance of power in the Middle East. This shift may lead to changes in alliances and strategic partnerships, as well as potential implications for ongoing conflicts and negotiations in the region. To sum up, the potential lifting of the ban on Iran by Europe has wide-ranging effects and strategic implications for various countries and groups. While Iran stands to benefit the most from the economic sanctions being lifted, net oil importers also gain from improvements in the terms of trade and opportunities for petrochemical production. On the other hand, net oil exporters, particularly OPEC members, face losses due to the lower oil price and deteriorating terms of trade. The strategic responses from major players, such as OPEC members, can further shape the outcomes and implications. Europe's decision to lift the EU oil embargo on Iran is of particular importance, as it would have significant effects on both Iran and the global economy. Geopolitical implications and regional dynamics are also at play, potentially altering alliances and power balances in the Middle East. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos.